You ever wonder how massive companies, think giant factories or global shipping operations, keep track of everything? I'm not just talking about the products they sell, but all the tools, the containers, and the gear that makes the whole thing work. Well, what if every single one of those things could tell you exactly where it was at any given moment? It's happening, and it's completely changing the game. Let's dive in.
I mean, really, this is the fundamental question, isn't it? When you're dealing with a supply chain that stretches across warehouses, factories, and shipping networks, the scale is just staggering. Trying to keep tabs on all of that manually? It's pretty much impossible.
Now, you might think this is all about tracking the final product on its way to a customer. But honestly, that's not even the biggest headache. The real hidden challenge for a ton of companies is keeping track of the things that move the products. We're talking about the reusable assets that are the true lifeblood of the entire supply chain.
Yeah, take a look at these. I know they might not seem like much, but these pallets, these containers, these custom-made jigs, they are incredibly valuable. And they're always on the move, cycling between factories, suppliers, and customers. Trying to keep track of where they all are is a logistical nightmare.
So what's the big deal if a tracking system isn't perfect? What really happens? Well, the fallout is very real, and it is very, very expensive. Let's break down the 4 biggest pain points that companies run into.
First off, you've got a high loss rate. Without a really solid way to see an asset's entire journey, things just disappear. Seriously. They get misplaced, left behind, sometimes even stolen. And you better believe every single lost container is a direct hit to the bottom line.
Next up, the cost to even try and manage all this is just through the roof. The old school method is literally people walking around with clipboards trying to count everything by hand in these massive warehouses. It is painfully slow, it's super expensive, and let's be honest, it is wide open for human error.
Okay, so this leads to a huge drop in how efficiently you can work. If you can't see where everything is in real time, you can't manage it properly. You could have a mountain of empty pallets just sitting idle in one warehouse while another location is completely shut down, desperately waiting for them. The whole operation just slows to a crawl.
And here's the real kicker. All of that uncertainty leads to so much wasted money. Because companies can't find the assets they already own, what do? They overbuy replacements just to be on the safe side. It becomes this really costly, vicious cycle of buying things you don't actually need.
So how do you fix this mess? Well, it's a pretty cool idea. You give every single asset a digital voice. You make it smart. And this is where a whole new wave of technology comes into play. And trust me, it is a total game changer.
The technology at the heart of all this is called active RFID. And the easiest way to picture it is like this. Every asset gets a small battery-powered tag. This little tag is constantly broadcasting its own unique signal, kind of like a tiny radio beacon that's always shouting, "Hey, I'm over here, and this is who I am." It's like a non-stop automated roll call for all your equipment. Okay, so that sounds great, but how does it all actually connect? Let's take a look at how this system takes a real physical object and creates a digital twin that you can track on a screen. You know, the beauty of this whole system is just how straightforward it is. The tags on the assets are broadcasting their signals, special readers or gateways are set up around the facility, and they automatically pick up those signals. All that data then gets sent to a central software platform, giving you a live dashboard of everything you own and exactly where it is. In fact, we can boil the entire process down to 3 really simple steps. 1, you tag your assets. 2, the gateways automatically read the data. And 3, you track everything in real time on the platform. Tag, read, track. That's it.
But look, for any of this to work in the real world, the hardware has to be seriously up to the job. These aren't just flimsy little beacons. These tags are specifically engineered to survive in some really tough industrial environments.
And this part is key. The battery inside each tag lasts for over 5 years. That means you can attach it to an asset and pretty much just forget about it. There's no constant maintenance, no recharging needed. It's a true set it and forget it solution. The reading distance is also just, wow, over 50 meters. That long range is what makes true automation possible. You don't need to walk up and scan every single item one by one. A single reader can take inventory of hundreds of tagged assets across a massive area all at once. These tags are also built like little tanks. They have what's called an IP67 rating. So what does that mean? It means they're totally protected from dust, and you could even submerge them in water and they'd be fine. So whether it's a rainy shipping yard or a dusty factory floor, these tags just keep on working. Of course, the hardware is only half the story. The software is where the real magic happens. It's what takes all that raw signal data and turns it into intelligence you can actually use. At a glance, a manager can see the total inventory count, track what's coming in and what's going out, and even see which assets are being used versus which ones are just sitting idle. You get the whole picture.
So let's circle all the way back to those problems we started with. How does a system like this take the absolute chaos of manual asset management and finally bring it all under control?
While the transformation is it's like night and day. You go from slow, error-filled manual counts to instant automated inventory. You go from having no idea about the status of your assets to having total real-time visibility. It's a fundamental shift in how a business can operate.
And the numbers really speak for themselves. This system can hit over 99% accuracy when taking inventory. Just think about that for a second. It can count over 1,000 different items in under a minute from 50 meters away. That's a level of speed and accuracy that's just physically impossible for a person to achieve.
Ultimately, the goal is pretty simple. Make your paperwork match reality. This technology gives you that true transparency, and that, in turn, slashes those manual inventory costs and boosts efficiency right across the board. It lets businesses be leaner,